to I Am Woke. I'm your host, Emelina Calder. In today's video, I'm going to take you guys through an energy update and reading in the collective Akashic records of conscious light workers on the planet right now for this week. All right, so August 19th to the 26th. Happy to be back with you guys and get you a solid update. That Lionsgate portal was a doozy. I'm not gonna lie. We are well adjusted and back on the team here. All right, if you're new to my world, hi sweetheart, welcome. My name is Emelina Calder. I'm a psychic medium, a shaman, an Akashic records reader, practitioner, teacher, energy worker, healer, priestess, diviness, all the things. If you enjoy personal and spiritual development, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you don't miss any updates or any fun things I got going on, workshops, etc. I don't know if I'm going to straight channel today or if I'm going to use tools. I've got them all. I'm going to pull one of these cards anyway. But this is going to be a week. I can already feel it. So they're actually just saying just to run and sprint right into it. So I am in the Akashic records. So we are just going to dive in. If you're interested in learning how to read your own Akashic records, there's a link below to a free training that I have for you guys where you can learn how to read your own Akashic records. And oh, thank you, love. I'm glad to see both of you. So you can get your feet wet in your own Akashic records. Hi, sweetheart. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I'm adoring this skirt. I'm such a fan. Okay, so we will just jump right in here. Another shout out to Akashic Records, because those of you that are going deep with me, and I know you guys are watching, like I'm watching some crazy transformations across all of you. And this is one of the big themes coming out of this Lionsgate portal that I'll jump into for August here. Is that there's a big adjustment period when you raise your frequency, when you change who you are, like when you discard what's no longer working for you energetically, your frequency naturally raises, which changes your personality to a degree. It changes your frequency, which adjusts your personality. And it's not to say you're any less of who you are, you're actually more of who you are because you're carrying less dysfunction in your energy signature with you. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because when we make these shifts, they are very much like identity shifts, and the people around us then don't recognize us to varying degrees depending on how much you shift. Now they're telling me to give a little, not like a warning, but like not even a caution. What would you actually call it? A signal for those of you that are, there's so many of you like me in the stream that are like aggressively doing work on yourselves. To know that the more that you shift, the faster you do it. My guides were throwing me through this last week. There's a difference in the degree of like trauma. Okay, so when we think about trauma in the mind, we're usually thinking events or things happening to us that creates trauma. There's also trauma that happens from growth. It's called post-traumatic growth instead of post-traumatic stress. It feels very similar in the body, but they're bringing attention to it because if you're aggressively pursuing your spiritual work and discarding the frequencies, the energies, the conflicts, the karma that doesn't matter to you anymore, that's like not helpful and is just weighing you down, there is a grieving process that happens when you change. So when the butterfly is in the cocoon, that's one grieving process. When the butterfly emerges and goes, oh my God, all of my friends were caterpillars, that's another grieving process. And that is very much lingering in the air right now. And I know a lot of you guys are going through it because we've all been walking through massive portals. And when I say we all, I mean for those that it resonates with you if you are doing this work, because they're telling me to call out. There are people watching my channel that aren't doing the work and you don't get an easy skate through this. That message is for those who it meets. I'm buzzing with a bunch of energy. Okay, so Spirit, where do you want to take us as far as bringing me back to the Lionsgate portal last week? That was one of the most intense energy activations I think I've done in my life. Those of you that joined me, that watched some of the videos that I produced before I did the ceremony last week, those of you that were with me in the ceremony, I've never seen so much energy move in my life. Like the most, I don't even know how to describe it, drastic upheaval of lower level entity types and karmic energies were removed, not only from that group, but from my channel and transmission, and then also from the collective. And it was such a heavy lift. I don't know how else to describe it, you guys. It was such a blessing. I know it's doing tremendous work, and I know those of you that are even just perceiving me here and weren't in the ceremony are receiving a completely different level of energy activation from my transmission that is so pure. It is so pure. It is so crisp. It is so clean. It is free of, there were some really, it's beautiful how spirit works. There were just some really beautiful ways that spirit was able to detach these huge karmic negative entity types, which we can think of like just big collective karmic baggage that hold people back, like the thoughts, beliefs, and opinions of others at the collective level that kind of keep us all chained without us even knowing it, thinking that we're not good enough, we're not worthy of a good life, we can't step into our kingdom. I love the word kingdom, paradise, your 5D reality, your true ascension matrix blessings, where you are blessed in all ways and not tied into like karmic circumstances, the people around you that could prevent you from receiving your blessings. I also don't believe in being a victim, so we'll add that into the mix. Like, yes, there are victim states of consciousness, and we learn how to move through them to then grow on the other side. That's where some of the post-traumatic growth comes from. For claiming your responsibility as a co-creator in everything, which is to dissolve the need for an aggressor in the mix between you and the world, whether it's you and a partner, whether it's you and a karmic person, or an enemy, whether it's you and unseen forces in this world. It's like when you can own all of the energy that you are working with spirit in collaboration to shine light in all the darkness and claim all of it. I'm just going to speak from my heart here. I don't know how they'll break this down, but it's like you claim all of the energy and the circumstances yourself. It's not to deny anything negative you've been through, but it's to say once you get, there's a tipping point in the healing that a lot of you are at right now, where it's like when you've done so much healing and you're like, actually, I don't need to be the victim anymore. I've healed that portion of myself. So now what I'm going to step into is embracing that I created this with the people around me, with God, source, infinite intelligence, with my lower level states of consciousness, with my previous states of karma, and I'm okay with it. I own it. And I'm so okay with it because I've reached this level of healing. This is me speaking on your behalf. This is where you guys are going if you're not already at this place yet. Is like, I can now change the story. I no longer need that aggressor to show me how I've been giving my love away openly. I no longer need that enemy to teach me these boundaries. I have them holding very strong in my energy field. I no longer need that false twin flame, whatever BS karmic partner, because I now had to love myself fully and completely. So I no longer need them to show me all the ways that I'm not loving myself. I no longer, give me another one, you guys. I no longer need, there's false parents, false parenting. It can be actual parents, but it's where people, they're saying mentorship, but it's not real mentorship. It's like where certain people in your environment will claim a level of authority over you, where it's like, oh, that's cute. That's not how things are done. Yeah, you don't know what you're doing. Oh yeah, you're just not that intelligent. It's okay, come this way with me. Let me show you how to live your life properly because you clearly don't know what you're doing. That's kind of the energy of those sorts of people that spirit is referring to as like false parents. And those contracts are really up for many of you as well, where you realize, oh, I don't need to be told what to do. I'm not a child. I can parent myself. What virtues and values do I hold within myself? Is that how I would parent my children? Is that how I would parent my inner child? No? Okay, well, I know I don't need that authority figure anymore. And then a lot of them will just sit back into a different role in your life. It's not about dissolving all of the people out of your life. It's about allowing their roles to change based on your energy in how you show up. The energy of how you show up on the moment-to-moment basis. I'm going to read your comments after too. I want to see them all. The energy of how you show up on the moment-to-moment basis is what creates your identity and your contracts and agreements with other humans. Agreements are just the terms with which you agree to act and interact with the people around you. When we grow, when we drop lower frequencies, when we raise our frequency, and I'm going to say that simple right now for a reason, because I don't want to overcomplicate it. When you raise in frequency, your identity shifts to a higher version of you, a higher state of you, and all of the agreements around you and how you act and interact with others changes. Now, I will tell you, a lot of people don't like that, but I will also tell you that it doesn't require aggression for you to reset the agreements. It's just as simple as not engaging in a way you would previously engage. Also, my nails are so crazy, I was painting. So don't judge me. Also, they're showing that too. They're like in the process, things get messy. My kitchen is way messy right now. And Spirit told me to leave it a mess. And I was like, no, I have to clean it up. I have to clean it up. This is what we do in spiritual work. Like, especially the women in here right now. You guys know we're like, I will clean it up. I will take responsibility. I will not leave an emotional mess anywhere. This is all taken care of. And sometimes Spirit is like, between my nails and my kitchen, Spirit told me to leave the kitchen a mess. It said it's okay to leave it in progress. You'll handle it by the end of the day. Like, it's okay. You don't have to tidy up every energy, every moment. My nails were not done before I jumped on stream because I didn't think about it. It's literally like, you show up as you are, not from the place of a lackadaisical behavior, but from the place of understanding that like you are mid-process handling things, and it's okay to not have something perfectly sorted out in the moment as you are stepping into what is going to be your authentic leadership and mentorship, which is what these new contracts and agreements around you is through the shift. You're shifting into a degree of mentorship. It's not to say that you're like pulling people under your wing, like, let me take care of you. I'm gonna mother every single one of you. No. It's really that your energy is so sovereign, so with you. Your power is so with you. You're so, can you guys give me some more words? I'm really lacking words today. It's just energies. You're so not needing of other people's validation or approval to know that you are spiritual. That's the way the language is being told to me. So a lot of you think you might not be spiritual if you're not perfect in every moment with like your language, etc. Sometimes your nails aren't going to get done. Sometimes your kitchen's going to be a mess. like, now for some of you, you'll be on the other end and it's like always a mess and you're always trying to get it together. And then in that case, I would say, sometimes it's okay to put the extra attention into the perfectionism in the details and place the extra attention into your presentation. That's not typically my MO, but that is a message for someone on the flip side of this. Place yourself in whatever message most resonates for you here. Swap roles, swap ideas. When we speak in terms of polarity, there's always two ends of. Abraham Hicks calls it two ends of the stick, right? It's still a stick. Like, we're still dealing with spirituality. There's just like one end, which is the post-traumatic growth, and the other end, which is the post-traumatic stress. Or like, one end is like, wow, I really tie up all my energy. I really don't I don't leave any loose ends. I am very attentive and loving and supportive and kind and really taking care of everything and everyone around me, which can become a degree of perfectionism. And it's like on the other end of the stick, it's like, maybe you're not doing enough. Like, maybe you're not taking care of anyone. Maybe you're leaning towards pretty significant narcissism, and maybe that's a temporary thing, or perhaps not. I mean, take it as it resonates. Narcissists don't do anything when they hear they're narcissists, so I can't imagine they're watching my channel. But it's like, understand there are different sides on the stick of consciousness that we're dealing with. You're always in the center. You're always the balance point. That's where Spirit has my attention. Why are you guys bringing me all over? You don't have to have it perfect to get it right. So this message for this week is you're being given grace. So for those of you that have some loose ends open, maybe it's things you're trying to pay off, maybe it's financial situations, Maybe it's conversations that needed to happen that haven't happened yet. Maybe it's taking accountability for something that you need to do. Like, know that it will get done. Set the intention, but it doesn't have to be done right this second if you have other things that do need to be handled. That's what's being told to me. So that gives me the next leading step is that this is a week of, what does this have to do with this has to do with prioritization of your time. Allow spirit to clean up the messes that are left behind for you. As you grow, so we're in this emerging process now, this group at the collective level. It's like the butterfly coming out of the cocoon. There's a bit of an identity crisis of saying, what? I'm a butterfly, but my friends are caterpillars. I don't understand. I thought we all were the same. I thought we were all human. I thought we were all soul family. I thought we were all family. Like, what happened? And it's like, well, what happened is the natural ascension process is that you were all having the capability, perhaps, to turn into butterflies, maybe, depending on the caterpillar types, right? You were all caterpillars. Maybe there were some moth caterpillars in there. Maybe there were some caterpillars that were never going to sprout wings. Maybe there were some butterflies in there. But it's like also the pacing of the growth process. So did they claim their cocoon? Did they claim their spiritual awakening? Have they really been working it? Or are they in a very, very, very slow process where they might not reach their full capacity of being a butterfly until right before they die? That happens to a lot of humans, right? We hear it all the time. All of a sudden, before people die, they're like, oh my God, I see the light. Now I see everything that I should have lived, and then they die. That's the spiritual awakening. It just happens right before they exit this plane. Those of you that are really engaging with this material with me are in the process of working that spiritual awakening now while you are here in the present moment. So you are in the process now of identifying yourself as a butterfly and realizing that there are a lot of caterpillars behind you. Don't judge them for the caterpillar phase, but mostly what I'm hearing is don't judge yourself for being a fucking gorgeous butterfly. Like, you are now functioning differently. You now have the ability to fly, to manifest on command, on demand, which the caterpillars are all jealous back there, like, meh, 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 we don't like her wings. She changed. She's not the same. Meh. I'm gonna act out the energies because this is what it is. It's like whatever energy is around you. And I know a lot of you, please take no discredit from me. I know a lot of you are dealing with some very heavy circumstances and very heavy karmic relationships. And I do know there's a lot of finesse to be able to get through those things safely and onto the other side where you then have distance from these relationships that are no longer working for you. That is happening at a mass level, and most people I know are moving through it. It's no discredit to that. The way that spirit is showing that energy though, so think about all these like evil people, like these terrible humans. I had to actually tell a human he was disgusting last week. Like, I won't give you the circumstances, but literally I literally had to have been said. Like, and it's just like, it's like you might also be saying things out of your mouth that you think are not spiritual. Like, spirit made me say it. That's how much it needed to be said. Like the evil caterpillar needed to be called out. Like, you're an evil caterpillar. Like, I see you. Don't go near anyone. Regardless, these energies, these we can call them enemies, we can call them karmic partners, they could be partners, they could be people in your family, whatever, okay? Spirit, there's a separation between me and spirit right now. Emelina would understand at the human level what you guys are going through and would have a metric F ton of empathy for you through that because they're very difficult to get through. Spirit is describing those energies as, I want your energy. You're not actually a pretty butterfly. You're an ugly butterfly. I said you're ugly, so it must be true. Come back. It's like a really catty, trite energy. And we call them evil because they are. Like, a lot of these people really are carrying such amount of demonic forces with them. Another way of saying that is lower level entity types. Another way of saying that is addiction patterns, like mean people. A lot of them are very nice on the surface too. It's called virtue signaling. For those of you that I hadn't heard that term until recently, and I was like, oh my God, that's a thing. Virtue signaling. It's what crunchy, disgusting people do to try to pretend that they're spiritual so that you trust them, and then they hook you in to their nightmare. I actually think they are more dangerous than aggressive people. I would prefer the aggression over the like, you're just like, what is all of that? Again, I don't know. They're taking me on a little train here. They're like, Emelina, just talk through the energies. Because right now I'm like, what are you trying to say through me? They're trying to say, like, take everything with a grain of salt, move through your process, but know that anything that is, I'm just going to label it as evil because I've had to deal with a lot of it recently. Just like anything that is like evil, which almost like gives it too much attention, highly negative, looking to steal your energy, I think is what I would say, really holds no power. It only holds the power that you give it through fear. Oh. They're telling me, I'm not going to do it because of the mic, but they're like, pound your chest. This is what you're doing energetically. When you encounter these people in your environment, pound your chest, puff up. Not from a place of, well, maybe it's from a place of ego, but it's not from a place of a lack of confidence. It's from the place of, oh yeah? Oh yeah, tough guy? I'm sorry, you want to say that a little louder? Do you want to say that to my face so that I can hear you? Because I'm about to tell your ass off. Like, I'm about to tell you how things really are. And really, I'm stable in my confidence. You got a lot more to lose than I do. So, tread carefully. That's the vibe. That is the energy that is being integrated into your energetic system. Those of you that do resonate with this emergence, being the butterfly, it's an emergence of the true, authentic soul character of yourself. Who you are without the damage, who you are without the dysfunction, who you are without the conditions. It's your true, authentic self. And Spirit is saying, give it back. Don't let people walk on you. Don't be like all people pleasy kind. Spirit's been screaming at me to not give people the benefit of the doubt. It's something I do very, very naturally. I'm very compassionate. So for those of you that resonates with, have a little bit more of a discerning eye of saying, are you looking to try to get one by me? Like, are you? And then it's like an energetic, like, a lot of times I'm not even saying things to people. I'm just holding that energy, and I literally will watch them change their behavior, cross the street, say something different, not pick a fight with me. Because when you're really holding the energy of, you got a lot more to lose because I'm real confident. I got real confidence. That shit's fake confidence. I know because you're bullying me. And that is the energy, is like, there are these just people, energies, attachments to people, you know, people that feed into low-level addiction behaviors. And please do not categorize yourself in that unless you truly mean that. But it's like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like alcoholism, addictions, like it's a constant opening for lower-level entity types to attach to their energies. So those people aren't just who they are. The reason why they flip fast or on a lid, like, or will go emotional in a really weird way, or like be controlling or manipulative, is because they're hosting lower level entity attachments in their energy system. You can think about it like, if you were to see someone through your third eye like this, they would have a host of parasites on them. So when they're acting towards you with aggression, with bullying behavior, which is happening constantly at the collective level, it's been very dialed up, you may as well just see them as having like succubi, parasites on them. And those things are what are dictating their behavior. Now, of course, that's not us allowing that behavior. It's Spirit's just having me show you the gray of the in-between of the energy, so you take it less personally, because it's not like, oh, that person hates me, or oh, that, or whatever the hell it is that they're doing. It's like, oh, that person is overrun with lower level attachments and hasn't found a way to clear their energy in a pure way because they're not dedicated to it and they don't care. So they are a host for many different types of energy. when we can create that separation, then the conversation, this is why I say we're not really victims, the conversation becomes, okay, well, if they're just hosting those energies, then the question is, I have my home, I have my body, I have my arc field. Do I want to also host those energies? Would I open my door and say, come on in, parasites? No, you wouldn't. So it's like, there's almost like a non-judgment. I guess it's kind of a level of judgment, but it's more like you're holding space to see. It's not a judgment as much as it's a clear observation of the other person saying, oh, you're engaging with spiritual warfare, meaning like you're trying to demean me, attack my confidence, deny me of my blessings, telling me I'm not beautiful, I'm actually ugly. That can be taken literally. That also is just the energy. It's like the blessing versus the non-blessing. It's like when people look at you and go, they get angry or jealous or envious because you're beautiful. It's like, well, you take care of yourself. And they're really upset because they're not taking care of themselves and they don't want to take care of themselves. Spirits also make things very black and white between people being jealous of how beautiful you are or not, etc., whatever, because it is that simple. It is that simple. Most of the judgments, most of the bullying is happening because someone is perceiving you as having something that they don't have, that they can't have, and that they will never have access to, which is beauty. That is often perceived as a physical beauty. And then they attack because for whatever reason, they think that they can make you ugly. And if they can make you ugly, then they are then on your level. And then they don't have to rise to meet spirit to do their own personal development work because they made you ugly. Making you ugly could be something physical, sure. What is it really? It's finding a way to corrupt your heart space. It's trying to get you to turn and act in ways that are out of character for you. They're trying to tease you out of not being in integrity with who you are in your core, in your center, in your authenticity. That's how they try to make you ugly. Now, that is in service in personal spiritual development work for us as humans for a very long period of time until we get to the point, which is, I feel like, a crux for a big group of you right now, which is just like, I don't feel like being ugly anymore. Like I don't want to do that. some of that ugliness is self-punishment, self-loathing, self-blame, overtaking responsibility. That's for a lot of women out there. You know, and it's feeling confident and comfortable shining. It's feeling confident and comfortable knowing that other people will see you as a threat, not because you're mean or you are actually a threat, but because you show them everything that they could have that they choose not to embrace. All of the confidence, all of the love, all of the boundaries. I'm growing with a real love for my boundaries. I love them. I love them. Love them. Love them. Can't get over it, man. I don't even know where to go with that. Setting boundaries is a blessing. And a lot of what I've been saying here, what I'm feeling, is that a lot of those boundaries aren't set verbally, although they could be. They certainly could be. But a lot of the boundaries are subtly set in your energy field where you're communicating with the field in between you and everything else. And then that field is communicating with the other people on what are acceptable ways to approach you, what are acceptable ways to speak with you, speak to you, think about you. Like, I can feel evil eye from people across the street and I immediately set that boundary right back. I'm like, that's yours. You can take that back. Times 10. Enjoy it. Like, don't send that shit to me. Like, claim your space. Spirit wants your space to be clear, vibrant, pure. Your heart being a heart of gold, being free of corruption. Your heart believing in the truth, your heart believing in the truth of who you are, in your personal expression, in your love of self, in your love and compassion for the rest of humanity as well, but not at the sacrifice of the self, which is very traditional for a lot of spiritual culture, I guess I would say. on Earth, it's not at the collapse of the self. It's this butterfly emergence phase is, this is the question they're posing to me, is can you maintain your state of beauty energetically, physically, mentally, emotionally, and allow people around you to be in the middle of their process, which a lot of them look very, very ugly. Is that physical? I don't know. A lot of that ugly behavior is mental manipulation, trying to manipulate others and force them to do things that they don't want to do to get their needs met. It could be emotional manipulation. That's, oh gosh, the combo of those two are so disgusting. It's like, I can't even sidestep it. Nothing feels worse than emotional manipulation. That's ugliness, right? It's a denial of spirit, because spirit is abundant. It is forever giving. It is the all provider. You don't need to manipulate others to get your needs met. You need to trust that your needs will be met and that you will show up curious and open, with an open, loving heart in any moment. That doesn't mean, they're also telling me, you have an open, loving heart. It's always really important. That heart needs guarding and protection, because simply there are a lot of, I've been trying not to swear as much because I know I got the YouTube AdSense running. But you know those sorts of people. Okay, all right. Haha, yes. You guys. Reading your mind. Yeah, I'm like, please. I'm like, I will continue to swear, but if I do it too much, then it it's fine. Okay. Spirit, where do you want to bring us from there? So we've got this big emergence. It has everything to do with that Lionsgate portal. These Syrian codes that came through the last few weeks were so potent and powerful. Oh, they're saying there was a huge base in the collective that was they were trying to get out of the cocoon spiritually, and a tremendous amount of people within this light group have now emerged. And that's what they've been taking me through this trail, is that with that emergence process, there is a grieving, a stress that almost can't be described. There will need to be healing. That's what they're saying. So start to just have it in your consciousness that even when really great things happen and you really move through your work and you become this amazing person, this amazing version of yourself that you love tremendously, there is healing from that growth. There's healing always. There's either healing from damage or healing from growth. And they're saying the growth was so big for this mass of the collective that there will need to be quite a bit of healing to nurture that it's okay, that you're new, that you don't fit in, that you're attracting a lot of attention, that you are very attractive. They're painting it to me in literal physical attractiveness. For those of you that don't feel like you've made any adjustments in your physical attractiveness, it is an energetic attractiveness that people then pick up on. That could be people hitting on you more, even if you are in a relationship, etc. You'll feel it from people, and it's not bad. It's literally, Spirit is saying the universe is going to respond to show you more of your attraction level. Attraction, literally how you are manifesting what you are attracting to you, and that is not a sign of dysfunction, because a lot of you have needed to be in hiding and healing for a long time to heal the traumas and the wounding and the karmic patterns. So when you get and receive that level of attention, you go, oh no, I need to go back into hiding here to a level, because that could be psychic attack, or that could be bullying, or that. And Spirit is saying, no, we need you to be seen now. Step up, pull your shoulders back, spread the wings back, show the wings, and allow people to be very uncomfortable, because they will. When you show your wings and you are now an otherworldly creature effectively on this matrix grid, people will feel naturally either attracted to you or threatened by you. There's a polarizing effect in that level of growth energy, in that emergence. And you have to be okay with whatever reaction or response happens as a result of someone meeting that pure, uncorruptible, heart-based energy that you have, and allow them to do what they do without changing them. without really, what Spirit's saying is without changing yourself, without diminishing yourself, without lowering your standards. Do not lower your standards. Ever. If I could go back and talk to my 14-year-old self, which I do sometimes, I'd be like, you hold the highest effing standards for how people treat you. Do not ever, ever dip. When you lower your standards, you make that the new high. There's a de-escalation process of personal value. Hold your standards high always. It's like a non-negotiable, both men and women. Your standards should be high for self-respect, for people respecting you, for love and care, for reciprocation. Building your self-worth and your value. The people that demean your value, like, sayonara, get out. Like, I don't have time for that. One of the bigger lessons I learned through my channeling experience, one of my guides, when I was struggling more with confidence, was like, anyone that demeans your confidence or your personal self-value, they were like, humans see it as like a flexible currency because they don't realize that your confidence is how you build your life. Your confidence is what ultimately gives you access to financial security, relationship security, long-term faithful relationships. Like, it gives you everything that you need. Is built on your own personal confidence. If your confidence is low, you will sacrifice and settle. You won't reach for your dreams. You won't create the reality you deserve. When the opportunities come, you'll swat them away, or you will self-sabotage them out. So confidence is the difference between life or death. And that is how this guide painted this to me. This is how I run my life, and what they're encouraging me to speak through for you guys, whether it's through example or just something you hear and it clicks into place, is that you deserve to be confident. And anyone around you that is trying to strip you of your confidence in one way or another and needs to be, they're saying discarded. So some of you really need to like drop some people out of your lives, because the Spirit doesn't usually use that word with me. They need to be discarded. They need to be shown that behavior is unacceptable. And a lot of people don't learn until they are shown that behavior is unacceptable, to the point where I will walk away. This is no longer a thing. No, you're not getting any attention now. None. Zero. And I have the patience to meet myself and to create a hard boundary without being aggressive. Although I will if I need to. That's what they're showing. When you're so bright and so attractive, you have to be willing to set hard boundaries, have big, high standards. And when people try to steal from you, steal your energy, rip your wings off, that you get aggressive. Generally speaking, with your energy, but they're showing me like even having to get up in someone's face if you need to, because that bullies only speak bully. I don't know how else to describe that. This is such an interesting channel too, as always, because I'm like, you guys, there are so many ways that this could be taken out of context, and I'm just hearing, trust, Emelina, trust. Like, trust the energy. I'm like, okay. I trust the energy. Okay, what else do you guys want to funnel through here? The prosperity is in the attractiveness. It's really in like flying, showing your wings, being who you are. Again, they just keep showing me the butterfly wings. That's like being excellent, being in your zone of genius, showing it off. Because if you're really good at something and you hold it back, like, what are you doing for yourself or others? Like, you are meant to be out there. If you're really, really great at something, you have a zone of genius, and you are shying it back, you're not helping anyone. Like, God wants you to step out. God wants you to be attractive and shine. What they're saying to me is that when we deal with attraction, there's this idea between it, because it's like, okay, when you're really attractive, you attract a lot of energy, right? When you attract a lot of energy, that energy can be both light and both seedy and dark. And what Spirit is saying is, don't tune back your attractiveness to only attract some light. Instead, be very good at discarding what's not light. Be good at discarding what's not real. Be good at discarding lower vibrational entity types that have no business being anywhere near you. Instead of getting good at hiding, get good at discarding. Get good at labeling, get good at moving energies away from you that don't belong. Not with anger or malice, just as this needs to be done now, get out of here. Okay, I'm back on my, I wasn't ever not on my path, but I needed to get that out. And now I'm just moving forward strategically and consciously, knowing that, they're giving me another example. If they're showing me a woman running on a track, okay, maybe a sprinter. And they're like, this is your life, this is your emergence, this is what you're creating, this is your highest level of self. You're sprinting, you're building, you're creating, you're becoming the highest, best version of yourself. We could say someone new, but it's really an emergence of everything that you are that you didn't know that you had before. And then some drunk a-hole comes into the track in the middle of your race and like throws beer at you while you're running or something. It's like, or tries to step out in front of you to make you stop on your track while you're literally mid-race. That would be considered spiritually an assault. Okay, so when there's something like that that enters your stream of consciousness, your field, that could just be an energy, that could be someone's energy projection, not even a physical thing. Where they're sending you evil eye or obstacles, that's considered a spiritual assault, which means that you need to, Spirit tells me punch back all the time. Spirit says punch back all the time. It means you need to move it out of your way and give it no credit at the same time. So it's like if there's someone blocking your path and you're literally mid-race, meaning the intention, like it's like you saw someone running a race, which means there are other bystanders, which means there are other racers too. Like this is a track, okay? A sprinting race. They have little bibs with the numbers on it. They're running. It's like for someone to then enter the field of the race, there are already collective agreements that say that's not a thing. You can't do that. This is a race. This intention is set. These people are working through a very specific process. This is how spirit works too. So then to cross that border, and they're saying drunk, like inebriated, just like filled with dark forces. You know, this is just manipulation. It could be actually drunk. I don't know. It's like the level of the level of personal neglect, level of self-importance, selfishness. There's a missing level of awareness for that person who's now crossing the track to literally stop people's races that are on the clock running. Now, Spirit's showing me on the sidelines. Spirit is there like a referee or like a bodyguard during your race going, you don't belong here. Like, get out. And is like body checking people out of your life or energies. For those of you to understand, these could be intentions. These are people's like dormant subconscious thoughts that they might be sending to you. Like, oh, I hope they trip and fall on their catwalk. People are mean, you guys. Like, those energies can collect. When a lot of people think similar things, they collect in group energies that then move through a level of like a lower level entity will attach to it and then try to bring it into your life as an obstacle. Spirit is running bouncer at your race. Okay. Now, sometimes spirit doesn't know what somebody's going to do. Sometimes spirit has no idea. Sometimes an energy will just hijack into a lower level entity force on a bunch of negative shit people have been thinking about you, and will all of a sudden go, yeah, I'm gonna get this, and we'll just dead sprint. And Spirit's like, I didn't even see that one coming. So it missed the initial bouncer run. So then Spirit's counting on you on your racetrack to then when that person comes across the track, again, they're showing this so visually, but this is a metaphor, as an obstacle, and they try to force themselves in front of you as an obstacle, that you have your tools now to take care of this. You either run around them, you sprint through them. Those are the two options we have. You run around them. Depends on how big the obstacle is, because that'll cost you time. You sprint through them. Depends on how big the obstacle is, because that will cost you time. Because as you have to break through the barrier, there's more force that is needed, which takes away from the longevity of the run. So Spirit's showing me that this is actually a transmission you're being given access to right now, which is like a subconscious program that'll help you to discern in the moment with these sorts of unseen obstacles that you didn't expect, and Spirit also didn't expect to jump in immediately like that into your life, and sometimes they do. That that there is a fast analysis happening on your end subconsciously where you know whether or not it's better to run around or to run through, and how much effort it will take, how much friction it will create, how much of a time lag, and which is the more efficient route. They're also showing me another option where, this is the third option for those of you that need to know through the transmission, which is where you're running, you see that person run out who just became an obstacle, and now you call in spirit and you say, remove that obstacle for me, I'm not slowing down. And you maintain your pace, your speed, your momentum, your trajectory, your action, assuming that that obstacle will be moved for you and that you will not get hurt in the process. That is the magical one they're showing me. They're like lighting it up in my energy fields. That's the option you really want, so that when you see an obstacle come in that spirit hasn't body checked for you, and the way that spirit body checks obstacles for us is if the other people's intentions are really clear, that sends an energy, and then spirit goes, oh, I know where this is going, and it chops it out. Sometimes spirit will give us obstacles as well in order for us to learn how to deal with obstacles, or in order for us to get to a very specific lesson that will move us forward so much faster, but we don't know it yet. And sometimes that happens, so it's really beautiful too. But anyway, the point of this is that they're saying to begin to look at the obstacles in front of you as, I'm not slowing down. That obstacle is going to be moved out of the way by the time I get there. And then to offer through prayer to spirit, move that obstacle out of the way for me. I'm not slowing down. I'm going to maintain my faith in my pace. And I'm going to trust that you're going to move that obstacle for me. And then when you show up, the obstacle's gone. But you have to actually show up, because it won't leave until right when you're ready to hit it. Because it requires that level of trust. I don't know how else to explain that energetically. So I hope that's helpful. I'm going to check in with them again, and then I do really want to pull a card. They're so funny. Karmic justice. Okay, so what I was just describing, my nails are so what I was just describing is essentially karmic justice. So it's allowing your energy to be so pure, so clean, which is just to be you authentically. You're not acting as anything but you. To the point where other people's karmic judgment gets ruled in front of your energy, because the only way that karma gets exchanged is if we take some of it. So if you don't take it, if you're very solid, you're like, nope, these are my standards, these are my boundaries, get out, that's not mine. The energy automatically goes into karmic judgment, into fate, into justice. Okay, spirit, pull another one for me. And for many of you, the obstacle is fear. It's fear. It's just fear. I say just. By the way, for me, like when I'm moving through these things, I'm like, man, these fears are intense. Like they take everything from me to move through. But the card that came out is Overcome Fear. This is the light of spirit, okay? This is the light of your kundalini, your spiritual fire, your connection to yourself. The light is always shining. The light is always available. It's always lit for you if you trust that light to guide you through the dark. Fear is really just the unknown. In the unknown, when we don't know what's going to happen, we invent crisis. We invent monsters and obstacles. Also, some of that crisis, monsters, and obstacles actually exist in the dark. The darkness, the dark is the subconscious mind, right? It's the past karma that hasn't been resolved. It's just subconscious. Unconscious and darkness are the same. So if you can, bridging the gap is overcoming the fear. It's acknowledging the fear, seeing it for what it is, as being unconscious. And then meeting that fear with consciousness, with love, with support, with self-respect, with prayer. That's what this candle is, with prayer. With assuming that the obstacle will be dissolved as you pray in faith for it to be removed and for you to be on path and on target with who you are. Okay, I'm gonna pull one of these too. Spirit, what are the last messages you got for us today? Get out of the way. What do you mean? Okay, so I don't know who needs to hear this. This is coming through really, really loudly. Get out of the way. When you see an obstacle, and they're showing it to me as a person who's crouched really low to the ground with like an anvil on them and with a target on your back. When you see someone coming after you, get out of the way. Don't absorb the impact. Don't be the scapegoat for them. Just move out of the way. What can you describe to more about what this looks like practically, or what are you saying? Okay, so they're showing me a number of you, some of you watching right now in the stream, and then also that will be watching this. They're showing me a number of you, and God bless you all. I've done the same, but I've learned how to shift out of this. It's you assume strength by absorbing impact. So when someone's coming at you, you let them, and you let them deposit all of that hate, all of that trauma, all of that bullying, all that stuff within you, and then you take it and you go, I'm gonna love all those things. And it's beautiful, and that is alchemy work. Spirit's saying stop doing it because it's not a good use of your alchemy work. It's not a good use of your compassion. Spirit would prefer you to see the bull in the china shop running at you with a target on your back, and you to take the target, put it on the wall, and then just step aside and let them run their ass straight into a wall and hurt themselves. And Spirit's saying don't take responsibility for the pain they cause themselves. That's coming through very, very, very clearly. Do not take responsibility for the pain others around you cause themselves. This is the Merkaba card. So the frequency of the Merkaba supports our ability to use our consciousness to traverse into other layers of reality and dimensions. It activates our access to our Akashic inheritance as well, merging the totality of our experiences into our present to serve our highest purpose. The Merkaba is the travel vehicle. It surrounds our body, literally, energetically. It's how we travel through time and space. So what does this have to do with that obstacle? They're like, stop absorbing other people's karma, other people's impact. Just because someone makes you a target doesn't mean you're a suitable target. Let them run into a wall and take zero responsibility for the risks that they inherently took on themselves by making you a target when you were a friend, a lover, and they made you an enemy. Like, let them run into their brick walls. There's a lot of karmic repercussion for stuff like that, but Spirit is saying, and this is a specific message, I can feel your energies in here, you guys. It's a specific message for those of you that resonates with this. Like, do not absorb their karma. Do not absorb their impact. Let them hurt themselves. Your work in this process at this point is to be okay with not hurting yourself to help someone else who is unwilling to help themselves. They're using you as a punching bag energetically. Some of them might be doing this in a very emotional way, a mental way. And Spirit is saying, use the power of your own energy. This Merkaba is it's the totality of your energy force being a force. Like Spirit body checking people out of your life. Like, it's a force that the vortex will automatically remove things out that don't belong if you keep inviting them in and saying, but I will love and light all over you. Let me heal your wounds for you. Meanwhile, they're still taking open dumps of feces in the palm of your hand. Like they are not conscious. They are not practicing conscious work. They are not taking accountability or responsibility. Like Spirit is saying, stop picking up their stuff where that stuff is over. That level of consciousness, like that's what we needed as humans to learn when we were much younger in our ascension practice. Now we don't need to be so compassionate that we'll let them hurt us. Your energy is sacred. You're in your Merkaba. This is sacred energy. This is how you move through time and space. This is how you quantum leap and quantum jump. If you continue to act the way that they have described, where you're absorbing that impact, that karma, it's like the negative side of the empath. It's like overabsorption from these other people. You destroy your own ability to have a space-time travel, space and location where you are safely redirected onto your higher timelines, where you're safely given the manifestation experiences that you need to lift yourself out of whatever traumatic situation might be happening around you. You need that safety. Spirit needs you to have that safety in order to take care of you, which means you have to let people run into their own brick walls, hurt themselves, and then watch them be in pain, and they'll scream and yell at you and tell you it's your fault because you stopped preventing them from hitting brick walls. They are showing me a person slamming their head against a wall, and you placing your hand there going, don't do that, sweetheart, don't do that. These are adults, right? Don't do that, don't do that. No. I love you, I'm gonna love you anyway. And then one day, you pull your hands away and they smack their head into the wall, and then they get a concussion and now they're bleeding and they're yelling at you, well, you stopped holding my head. That's what Spirit's saying right now. And it's like, whoa. I should be telling myself, you're the one slamming your head against the wall, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. What are you doing? I can't take responsibility for that anymore. I'm not your guardian. God is your guardian. Okay. What a message. What a series of messages, you guys. I want to look through your comments. Spirit, is there anything else you want to send through me? Congratulate those who crossed their finish line. Oh, wow. Okay, so last week was the finish line. It was a race. Congratulations. Welcome. Welcome to the Pretty Girl, Pretty Boys Club. And by pretty, we mean we take no shit. We're here for the prize. I am here for the prize. Oh my gosh, you guys. It's so good to see you guys. Oh, Jean, you're welcome with the postcard. Rainy, Shelly, Drea. Oh, good to see you guys. Love you all so much. Mark's in here too. Healing since last Friday. Shit hit the fan. Yeah, this is, you know, it's funny too, because when Spirit talks to me, it's much more light. But the human Emelina knows exactly what it's like to have to deal with these conflicts. So I totally get it. You crack me up. They're known as evil caterpillars from here on out. Yeah. That's it. That's all that there is. Facundo, custom molding. My name is Resonate with Gold. Resonate with Gold. I love that. Okay. That's what I got, you guys. Thank you for joining me. Stay tuned for all things. I don't know what other videos I'm going to shoot this week or what's coming up. Spirit, I don't know what Spirit's got in mind for me. I did, though, maybe I'll shoot a video on this. I did finish my fast. I did a 14-day water fast. It was beautiful. It's one of the most transformational things I've done. I've done them before, but I think maybe I'll describe what that was like and how it works with your consciousness. We will see. Anyway, sending you lots of love. Enjoy your week. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate this finish line. It's a big deal. Okay, lots of love.